Hello everyone. Hope you all are doing good and sincerely preparing for whatever exam that you are planning to appear for. So today I want to discuss about the MORPHOS Essay test series, the program details of the test series. But before I start that, I want to understand or I want to help you understand that why an essay test series in the months of September to December. Because yes, the essay paper is part of your mains exam, but you can't expect yourself to perform nicely, to perform in an outstanding way when you're writing the essays for the first time post prelims exam. Essays require a lot of practice because, yes, it does have an innate writing ability or writing skill required from the students, but you need to understand that when you're preparing for a competitive exam, each and every paper tests different skills. There is one component which is a natural innate talent or skill of the student, and the other component is which you develop with practice. So when you're planning for or when you're having a look at the UPSC CSE essay questions, you will realize that the topic is little bit trickier to understand, interpret, and you can't find 1,000 1,200 words to write. Whenever any student is starting to write an essay, they find themselves with content about 600 to 800 words only. But you know that the word range expected out of you is 1,000 to 1,200 words. Earlier, UPSC was giving a space of 11.5 pages in the question come answer booklet. This year, as per the students, there was more than 12 to 13 pages given. Now, here it's not about the pages, but it's about the words. So even if they give you 11.5 page space or they give you 13 to 14 pages, the aspect is that you should have adequate content to write 1,000 to 1,200 words per essay. And you have to write 2 essays in the exam. The real challenge is that post prelims, when you come and you think that, okay, now I'll start preparing for my essay, you don't have time because you're already caught up with revising GS papers. All 4 GS papers take a lot of time to revise. Then you're planning to write their test series, the GS test series, multiple times, multiple iterations. It's not that you will write only one GS paper, right? Then you have to appear for your optional. You have to plan for your optional. You have to revise it multiple times and you have to write multiple tests. And most of the test series, be it GS or optional, they give you sectional syllabus. So effectively, when you're enrolling yourself into any test series, you are caught up in a hectic schedule of writing 10 to 12 tests. And in all of this, even if you want to give time to essay, you really can't find time for it. So the best strategy is that we will not wait for post prelims time to get started with our essay preparation. The idea is that you have to start writing essays from now onwards so that you have practiced adequately. You have seen what mistakes you are making in the essay and you're giving yourself time and opportunity to work on those mistakes. Otherwise, in the month of June, July, when you write essays, you realize your mistakes very late. You don't have time to work on those mistakes. And when you actually go for your mains exam, you know that you're lacking in some place. You're lacking in certain aspects of the essay, but you didn't have time to actually work upon it. Also, when you practice essays over a longer period of time, you try and touch variety of topics. And it's very difficult to predict topics, right? We always anticipate there will be a question or there will be an essay topic on artificial intelligence. There will be a question or essay topic on climate change. No, it doesn't happen like that. UPSC nowadays, in the recent 3 4 years, is not giving you an essay topic which is directly extracted from one GS theme. It is giving you those essay topics which really test your thinking skills, which tests your contemporary understanding of the issues, which even tests your understanding of philosophies and ethical values. And when you combine all of that together, then you're able to write an essay which can fetch scores which is on the higher side. So you require practice distributed over a longer period of time. And to do that, preferably, you need to join a test series. You shouldn't wait for the prelims time, or you shouldn't wait for post prelims time to actually join an essay test series. You should start early to get an advantage. The competitive exam is all about getting an edge, getting an advantage. It's not about who's perfect. It's about being better than the other people. So if you find that your peer group, your friends, the other people appearing for this exam are ignoring their essay, you need to prepare for essay beforehand so that you have an edge over there. In the alchemy batch introduction also, I talked about the same thing. But here, the idea is that test series, you need to practice, you need to get the evaluation done, you need to get the mentorship done on those copies. I have seen many students enrolling into the test series just after prelims for the mains period, but then either they are not able to write all the tests or they are not able to get the mentorship which is required, which is so, so important. Unless until you understand what's going wrong in your essays, how will you able to improve? So before actually highlighting the best part about MORPHOS essay test series, I want to first clarify that writing essays is very important. Now you need to go for self-practice or practice through test series. It's your call. But I'll also tell you, as a mentor, as an unbiased, opinion, if I give you, practicing through self, in the sense when you're writing essays and you are just self-evaluating it, or maybe you're showing it to your peer group, you're showing it to some seniors or some family members, you are evaluating it on a very narrow basis because those people are not experts on essay. So self-evaluation or self-assessment of essay is a limiting approach. It's not entirely wrong. Of course, you need to practice previous year questions on your own. But if you're not part of a conventional program, and especially if your essay writing skills are not well, they are not on a proper level, they are not as per the demand of the UPSC, you need to practice more. So yes, self-practice is important. Self-assessment is also important because unless until you sit and see that what better you could have done in your essay, you will not be able to improve. But you also need a person, a program, a test series where you're getting evaluation, where you're getting tested on variety of topics, when you're also given new set of topics so that you have to think freshly for the first time. Otherwise, the previous year questions, we tend to see it so many times being discussed through, different faculties on YouTube videos, some solutions here and there, that you already grow so comfortable with the topics. A test series gives you new set of topics. You have to think, brainstorm, and you force your mind to actually think from multi-dimensional perspective. So the test series is important. Whatever you want to join or not join, that's your call. But after that, we need to understand, and especially this session is about the MORPHOS test series. That why I want to emphasize that if you want to join, it should be MORPHOS. So the MORPHOS test series, of course, is being conducted by me. I am the faculty come mentor, come evaluator, come everybody. So I am that one person who's handling this entire program. And what's the benefit of it? Yes, different institutes, different organizations, they keep a team. That's also good because when you're catering to a large number of students, you have to keep a team. But I always go for short cohorts, small cohorts. I don't have a team. I'm the only person handling everything because I want to ensure and maintain quality. So the MORPHOS essay test series being conducted by me, you get assurance of quality. You get assurance of an expert who's helping you out, right? So I just prepared a PPT, but I think I don't need to speak from the PPT, but still, let's discuss each and everything so that the discussion is also streamlined. And then I'll go into the further details of the MORPHOS essay test series for the year of 2026. So I wanted to first highlight the why test series, right? Now, I did say that what is the problem or what is the shortcoming with self-assessment or self-practice, because I've seen many students doing that and they're not able to realize that what mistake they are actually doing because there's nobody to point it out. Even your peer group will only tell that, okay, you could, write one more example, you could do this, you could do that. But then when you get an expert help, you actually understand that what are the major shortcomings. And of course, an expert has nuanced understanding of the issue. They know from the experience of various students that what mistake you're doing and what mistake you might be doing in future. So that experience and that expertise really helps you. So yes, you require an essay test series because you can't keep on applying wrong technique. You're practicing, but you're applying the wrong technique over every essay and you get less marks out of 250 and you lose out on the desired rank. True? Then we need to understand that why the MORPHOS test series out of any other test series. So every test series has some common aspects. Of course, not denying that everybody's doing their best. But, or I would say the basic expectation is always about that you have given a question paper with certain set of topics. Then of course you are supposed to attempt that paper, you submit it for evaluation, then you get evaluation and mentorship done over that paper. But in every step, there is one nuanced thing or there's a nuanced perspective attached to it. In MORPHOS, we try to touch not just the basic, but of course the nuanced perspective. So the question paper, MORPHOS does what? I personally curate all the topics after careful assessment, observation of the previous year questions themes, and my understanding that what is important in the contemporary times. I was able to exactly predict two topics in the past 2 years. In 2024, my one of the test paper had this topic, the empires of future are the empires of mind. And in 2025, when you had this topic, it is best to see life as a journey, not as a destination. I had the same topic. Of course, the little bit changes in the words were there because yes, this quote was said by Winston Churchill. So this as it is was in my present, in my question paper also. But then UPSC also picked it up as a same quote said by Winston Churchill. They did not make any changes. But this one, if you try and find it out, there is no direct reference. Nobody has given this quote. This is an inspired quote. Inspired quote from some thinker or some philosopher who said something in different words. I was able to actually predict. My topic was a good life is a journey, not as a destination. So the proof is already on the channel. As soon as the paper was out, of course, I had, given the proof that the same kind of thinking. So, but the idea is, without talking about the hit ratios, and I was so lucky to, get my topics, in the essay paper. The idea is what? How is this happening? Because you are, or one has gained expertise. One has looked at the previous year questions in a manner where we understand that what kind of topics, what kind of themes UPSC repeats or wants to ask or wants to test the students on. So there are certain themes where UPSC is, shuffling the topics. The topics change, but the theme remains same. And that experience of having a look at so many essay topics over the years has made me or has given me that wisdom, that knowledge to figure out that yes, this is what UPSC is expecting. And even when I was making those topics, I don't even remember from where or what inspiration I had, but I might have looked at some previous year questions. I might have tried to search on some quotes, and through that, I rephrased. Because just like I told you, this particular topic is not found to be said as a direct reference, as a direct quote of some personality. So, how is it, it's similar? It's similar because I understood the theme. I took inspiration from the various quotes and thinkers and their ideas, and I tried to rephrase it because I wanted to touch upon that a good life is a journey, and or life is a journey. It should not be treated as a destination. So it is best to see life. Now, of course, here and there, few words will change because just like I told you, it's not a direct quote. The direct quote was this one: the empires of future are the empires of mind. So that was directly, given and makes sense. Like there was another, I think in this year's, there were 2, 3 topics which were direct quotes of, thinkers and philosophers. Right. So my students, tell me for the past 2 years, they have given me the feedback after the essay paper that one topic matched, yes, but the other topics also looked familiar. And yes, it might feel that maybe I'm boasting or I'm tooting my own horn. No. The idea is that when you fix certain themes, when you know on your experience of having being, looked deeply into the previous year questions, those topics of essay, and you understand that yes, these are the themes, this is how UPSC is asking questions, there is a possibility that you start including those essay topics where the themes are matching, where the ideas are matching. And that is why my students tell me that the topics felt familiar. They already had content for it. So even if the exact topic is not getting matched, not all 8 topics are getting matched, right? Otherwise, it will become very difficult for UPSC. It may be, there will be allegations that, UPSC has copied. So, keeping aside that aspect, just trying to, tell you that how is this happening? So you need to practice through a test series where the topics are specially curated based on the expertise and experience of the previous year questions and understanding how and why UPSC is giving you certain topics. So the test series, the MORPHOS test series is going to have such topics which will give you a lot of coverage. Now, you also need to understand that there are multiple themes, there are multiple keywords. I can't cover all keywords, but I know which keywords, which themes are most important and they should not be missed. And that I have covered in the test series. Right? So that's what makes MORPHOS different from other test series, because it's not a random collection of codes, collected from internet or ChatGPT and given you as a question paper. Now, the other part is the mentorship and the evaluation. So yes, when you're getting the question paper, you're attempting the test, you're submitting it for the evaluation, the kind of evaluation that you will get, it's really in depth. It's done by me. There is no other evaluator present. I am the only person working on your essays, seeing what kind of essays you're writing, and I'm even tracking your progress. Because I remember by the second or third essay, I remember that what mistakes you were doing in the first essay or second essay, and have you improved upon it or not. Usually what happens in other organizations, when you join test series, your essay copy, every time you submit, it is being evaluated by a different evaluator. So one evaluator, gives you a different comment and a different feedback. When you submit the second test, then a different evaluator tries to ask you to go back to certain things and maybe make the changes. Then the third evaluator will again say a different thing, and then you're left confused. Here, that problem is solved. One person evaluating your essays, tracking your progress from essay 1 to essay nth, and telling you exactly if you're progressing, if you're improving or not. Then comes the aspect of mentorship, because the evaluated copy, of course, the in-depth evaluation is done. The every minute aspect. I don't even ignore a single spelling mistake, the sentence formation, the grammatical, mistakes. Everything is actually being, accounted for. But what is more important is the mentorship. Somebody having a look at your essay copy and over the phone call, over the Zoom, telling you that this is what can be done. Because sometimes in the evaluation, it's a one-way process. The evaluator gives you the feedback that, okay, this needs to be improved. This is not right. But sometimes you get an idea that, what about this? Can I include this? Can I essay? Can I my essay can be written like this? There is some changes. Can I write two personalities in my introduction? So various kind of queries, and in the mentorship we discuss that. So it's more like gaining the perspective, not just on the essay copy that you have written, but as an overall, which actually in present world is very difficult to get. Somebody giving you that time of one-to-one mentorship in itself, it's very, very difficult, and it's not easily available actually, because it takes a lot of efforts to evaluate and to actually sit with the student to understand, to discuss, and sometimes even debate, right? Because some students, they do tell me that, ma'am, this topic we interpreted in this way. So is my interpretation wrong? I tell them, no, it's not entirely wrong, because I don't believe any essay could be entirely wrong. But you are maybe dealing in a partial interpretation manner. You have just discussed half of the thing, half of the essay topic, or maybe this particular word or this particular phrase got ignored. So where are the arguments which is discussing this aspect of the topic? And there the light bulb moment happens that, yes, I missed it. So when you tend to get mentorship with me, you actually get a lot of clarity. Over the period of time, when you practice multiple essays, you get evaluations done, you get your mentorships done with me, you are at a much better place from where you started. So essay is all about consistent practice, consistent improvement, and progress. And you get that through the MORPHOS test series, right? So of course there are other benefits and all. So we will be discussing that also. So enough about me and all, right? Okay. Let's understand the program details. So the program details that I have, specially tried to make a schedule which is giving you a lot of flexibility, right? And because I do understand that many of you are appearing for state service exams, EPFO, this and that, like so many other exams. I totally understand that. But my aim is that not to force you to just prioritize essay, but sort of encourage you to practice essays consistently. So what are the program details? What are the commitments? The idea is that first you will be writing few single essay tests. When I say single essay tests, I mean to say that first we will start with the previous year question. So the first single essay test will be based out of philosophical but previous year question based theme, right? So directly I'll pick up, four topics from the previous year questions, and out of those four topics you have to attempt one. Why this first test is designed like that? Because I want to see first at what level of essay writing skill you are standing, or also that through the previous year question, I want to understand that how the student is interpreting that particular previous year question. Because I could give you a simple topic, but then that topic would be mine. I might have some biased ideas. When you write an essay for the first time and show it to me, which is a previous year question, I get a larger, better idea that yes, the student is making such mistakes. Okay, then there's another single essay test which is based out of previous year, but it's on GS theme. Yes, in the year 2025, we did not have any direct GS thematic based topics, but in the year of 23 and 24, we had. So, from my perspective, a student should be empowered to deal with any kind of topic, philosophical, abstract, GS thematic, whatever. So, my endeavor is that the student should also be able to write essays based on GS theme. And I'll tell you a very different, I would say perspective. 3-4 years back, students would come and talk about that we don't know how to write a philosophical essay, or what is an abstract essay, what is a philosophical essay. Nowadays, what is happening, because you already have so much of guidance and strategy and this and that available on philosophical topics, students are finding themselves in a difficult position that how should we deal with GS theme or GS topic. I don't know how to write a essay topic based on some GS theme like social justice or climate change or gender issue and this and that. So we will be assessing based on that also. I did this assessment earlier also. Herein, I'm just trying to highlight my perspective that why I am giving these 2 single essay tests before. And the timeline is, or the dates are, kept in a way that you get time to attempt, right? And you're able to manage with some other commitments also. If you have some other exams going on, you will be finding time to write these essays, okay? Then again, you have single essay test 3 and 4. Of course, these are in the months of October. Okay, so before Diwali, my aim was that we should have this assessment because to give you consistent practice. One single essay, not feeling very burdened about it, but then writing consistently single essay so that you are in the practice also, you're getting evaluations, and it is also that we are getting a chance to improve from the first essay to the second essay, from the second essay to the third essay. So this is what is happening. But then we also know that UPSC exam has 2 essays. You're supposed to attempt 2 essays in 3 hours. So the full length test is very, very important, where you get 4 topics in section A, 4 topics in section B. So I'll be assessing you on that also. That will happen on 25th October, right? So you are practicing consistently your understanding, and I'm not directly pushing you to attempt full length test, but I have tried to give you a lot of practice. There will be evaluations, there will be assessment, there will be mentorship, and then I'm expecting you to be ready mentally, emotionally to be able to, or even actually conceptually to be able to attempt a full length test. Again, we will start the cycle of single essay test because consistent practice is what I'm looking for. And then you have a lot of exams in the month of October, November. So I wanted to keep the schedule light, flexible, okay? Then you have, after single essay test 5 and 6, you again have the full length test on 29 November. So this is your schedule from September to November, okay? Wherein you are writing multiple single essay tests and you're also writing 2 FLTs, full length tests. But then the commitment is not over. Here, if I'm not hand-holding you till the actual mains exam, if I'm just wrapping up my essay test series here itself, then what's the use? Because you're actually going to be tested in the months of June to August, and you have to appear for your mains in the next year's August month. So what I've planned is that the later, when the month of June and July, that means post prelims, you will come and appear for a full length test 3 and full length test 4. So the commitment is that effectively you are writing 4 full length tests, but 2 before prelims and 2 actually after prelims, right? So this is how the planning is being done. So this is the purpose of, including single essay tests, because consistent practice is very important. And when you're writing or when you're attempting single essays, you are supposed to write it, finish up that work in 1.5 hours. So 1.5 hours on a weekly basis, on every 10-day basis is what I'm expecting out of you. Even if you're caught up with a lot of exams, a lot of, commitments over for, GS or optional, whatever else is going on in your life. I totally understand. But my aim is to give you consistent essay practice, evaluation, assessment, where you're going wrong, what to improve, how to improve, and the mentorship aspect, right? And of course, in between, you're getting these, the materials, the solutions, the discussions, all that, of course, will be there, right? So single essay test, the first test to, of course, understand the prior standing and knowledge of the student, and then, of course, working upon the consistent practice. Then you have the full length test, 2 FLTs before prelims, 2 FLTs during the month of June and July. Then you have the test discussion. Of course, if I'm conducting a test series, there has to be a test discussion and resource assistance. So yes, there will be some handouts, there will be some materials provided to you, and they are not, I would say, very bulky, but I'll also be taking few sessions on how to actually utilize that material. So in a way, I don't want to supply hundreds and hundreds of pages filled with lot of irrelevant examples and irrelevant book references and irrelevant, stuff, and a lot of quotes and all that, and you don't know how to apply them. So actually we'll be actively working on that. Whatever content that you're getting, you should be knowing how to utilize it and apply it. Then of course evaluation, right? And you will be getting in-depth line by line feedback. Evaluation will be very, very detailed, so that you know that what kind of mistakes you're making. Of course, you have one-to-one mentorship. That's my USP. The evaluation and the one-to-one mentorship is my USP, where you are really focused upon as a student. You are at the center of improvement, of understanding what is the student's requirement, and that's how I customize the entire mentorship and understanding and work accordingly. Then in between, I'll also have some Q&A sessions, because I understand that you might have some queries, but usually those Q&A sessions I would say that already so much of discussion has already happened on the one-to-one mentorships, that students don't really have a lot of questions left for Q&A. But yes, from my side, there is a commitment of having these sessions, so that basic queries, basic ideas, basic doubts about the essay writing gets resolved. Then the most essential part is, because I am the one doing this, there is no other evaluator or a big team supporting me. So it's going to be a limited program, limited seats, right? And I don't go for, lot of admissions, because I want to really connect with my students. I want to know that what, they are doing and how they are improving, what challenges they are actually feeling, which is, I feel that it's very difficult when you have a large batch of 100 plus students. That's something it's really difficult to the quality gets, it's really goes for a toss. Then the bonus sessions is, of course, that if I'm conducting a test series, it's my duty to give you basic sessions on essay writing. So it will not be basic, but my aim would be to focus on 2-3 very important things. And the first one, which is the brainstorming. So for me, writing essays or writing good essays requires a very important step beforehand, which is the brainstorming. And the students do brainstorming. It's not that they don't know the importance of it or they're not doing it, but it's very inadequate. You're just brainstorming some random examples. You don't even know that those examples will go with which argument and at which point or which place of the essay. Or you have not even brainstormed your introduction or conclusion. You don't know which quotes you'll be including. So the brainstorming has to follow a process. There is a methodology to it. There's a method to it. And we'll be discussing that. And of course, otherwise, also I'll take a few sessions on the interpretation and the other aspects of the, essay writing, and you get the support till your mains examination, right? So that's what the aim is. Then I think, just a moment. Yes, there's one essential thing that I want to highlight. It's in the, brochure also, which is that last time and this is from my experience, I always learn from my experience. So last time when I launched the essay test series, I did not put a deadline, because I assumed that students will be adhering to the deadline. They will be, writing the tests as the test is getting released. But then what happened, that many students, due to some, like maybe they had fallen sick or they were appearing for other exams, because last year also, you have your other state service examinations. So they were not able to stick to the schedule. So this time, in spite of, instead of giving a deadline for every test, I have given a overall deadline, which is that all those tests, like before, this post prelims wale tests ko chhod ke, like, these tests till full length test 2, till this point, you have to complete by 28th February 2026. That's your deadline. But of course, I don't want you to grow complacent, but I've given you some, like a structure and schedule. But yes, I've given you a little bit of flexibility because I understand your other commitments. But all these tests till this point, this needs to be covered anyhow by 28th February 2026, because there is no use joining a test series if you can't write and practice on a regular basis. You can't write 2 essay tests in 1 week without having a proper assessment, evaluation, and mentorship on it. Many students, they commit this mistake that, okay, I have 4 tests remaining. I will write these 4 tests every week of the month, or like every a week or every few days. After every 3 days, I will write 1 test. And then you realize that the evaluation, the mentorship, the assessment is not happening, because the mentor also requires time to evaluate, to schedule a call for the mentorship. You can't write your test every third day. You need to space it out so that you understand what mistakes you're making in your previous essays, and so that you can work upon those mistakes and you can improve and literally avoid those mistakes in your next upcoming test. So this kind of deadline I have tried to keep, so that I'm giving you flexibility. It's a long time. We are starting in the month of September and I'm giving you time till the February month. But yes, I do understand the other commitments and all. But I also don't want you to grow complacent, that you're just keep on postponing your tests, you're not writing anything, and then after 15th February you are just waking up and you want to write all the tests. That's not how it should be done. Okay, that's really going to see, it's not going to literally harm me, but it's going to harm your attempt and your understanding and your practice and your you could say advantage that you should be getting out of this test series, right? So that's the deadline. Okay, and of course for these you will be writing regularly, because if you're writing means you're already taking out time for your essay practice. So this is one of the special feature, that there will be 2 FLTs post prelims, so that we actually stay connected, because I want my students to get guidance when they're actually going for the exam. Because before that, of course, everybody is available, everybody can be giving you guidance and everything, but then I really want to be available for my students. So for me, once a student, always a student, once a mentee, always a mentee. That's what I follow, and this is what the program highlights are, right? Of course, it's very simple to understand. There's nothing complicated and all in this MORPHOS test series. So you are getting all these aspects. My USP, really, just like I've mentioned, at the cost of repeating myself, people join MORPHOS essay test series, or I would say people come for essay mentorship and essay test series to me, because they know that they're going to get personalized attention, they're going to get proper evaluation on their copies, and not some generic evaluation by ad hoc evaluators who have no interest in improving your essay. I have personal interest in improving your essays, so I take that opportunity, I take that as a platform to work upon the student, to really guide them well, and of course mentorship. So these are the USPs, and of course the questions, the topics, they are curated, they are not random, they are very well thought of. I really sit and decide what questions to give, what things to do. So in a way, it's a lot of efforts, but of course this all effort is for you, is for the students, so that when you're actually going for the mains exam, your essay paper feels like cakewalk. And my many students, I'm not saying just like this, my many students really, after doing the essay course with me, have practiced so many essays that in the actual mains exam, they literally felt no difficulty, no challenge in writing the essay. Their real challenge was maybe in GS or option or whatever other subjects. But with me, after the program, no, I haven't got a feedback where they have still faced the challenge. I have gotten calls just after the exam when they share their ideas, that ma'am, I wrote this. I got telegram messages that ma'am, these are the set of ideas I have written in my essay. Is it correct? Is it not? So this kind of feedback really helps me also, and really makes me feel grateful that after the exam, student is thinking of reaching out to me and giving me the feedback and cross checking that ma'am, we wrote this, is it right or not? Because yes, that's what the there's always a small insecurity in the student's mind, but at least they don't feel the challenge. They don't find an essay paper a difficult paper, which many other students they face, but they are not able to express this to any mentor. Nobody is available to actually give time to them on a personalized basis, and that's why they lose out on the good essay scores, and they lose out either on the interview call or on the desirable rank. So let's not, avoid making that mistake. Let's not make that mistake. And on that point, I wish you all the best. And the brochure is already released on the channel. You could have a look. If you want to enroll, you can DM me. The details are already present in the brochure. So all the best. Take care, everyone. Have a good day.